So now we're going to go and add some variations to our products. And the way that we're going to do that is by creating another model. So we'll just do that right here above the product. And I'm going to call this a color variation, which is going to be another Django model. And we're just going to give it a name. So we'll say character field, maximum length of, let's say 50. And then the string method just to return self.name. Then what we can do is on our product, we can say that the available colors equals to a many-to-many field of these color variations. So what that's going to allow us to do is then when we create a product, we can specify what colors we want this product to be available in. And then we can go to our order item and we can specify the color of the product that we chose to be a foreign key with the color variation. And we'll just say on delete is models.cascade. So then like this, we have two unapplied migrations. So we can go and make those migrations. And I'm going to go and quit because of those existing products. So then I'll just delete the cart migrations, delete the database, and we can then say make migrations cart. And then we can say migrate. We'll then create a super user and then run the server. Come back here to the admin and log in again. And we can then go and create another product. And we'll actually need to add the color variation to the admin. So let's go to admin.py, import the color variation, and I'll just do it like this. And then register the model there. So then if we come back over here to cart, then we can add a color variation. So let's say red, and we'll do green, and we'll do blue. Then in our product, we can add a product, and we'll say this is a test product. I'll add an image, say it's active, and I'll specify red and green as the available colors. And let's just get this as an accurate slug. Choose an image, and there we go. So let's go back to home, shop, and here's our product again. But now we need to go and add the available colors here in the form. So let's go to this add to cart form, which has the order item as the model. And that means we can specify the color here, and the color is going to be a model choice field. So we'll say color equals to forms dot model choice field. We'll specify the query set as this new color variation. So we'll say color variation dot objects, and I'm going to start it with dot none, and then we just need to import this model over here. And what we're going to do is initialize the form, and we're going to pass in the product ID so that we can get the product, and then set the query set to be only the available colors. So let's go and say define init, which just takes self args and keyword args. And then we're going to say that the product ID equals to the keyword args dot pop the product ID. And then we can say that the product equals to, and here I'm just going to import the product model. So then down here, we'll say product.objects.get, where the ID is the product ID, and we can call super.init and pass in all the other arguments and keyword arguments. And then I'll just close that for now. We're going to set the color. So we'll say self.fields, and we're going to access the color field and say .query set equals to the product dot available colors dot all. And so like that, when we use this form, we need to pass it the product ID. So let's go back to our view here, and we're going to add a method on this form view, which is going to be get form keyword arguments, which we'll take in self. We can then get the keyword arguments by saying super of the product detail view and self, and say dot get form keyword arguments and then just return them at the end. And this is also going to be a dictionary, so we can just pass the product ID into the keyword arguments, and that is going to be self.getObject.id, because we want to get the product instance and then access the ID of that product and pass it into the form. Then in the form, it's going to get that product again, and we're going to get the available colors of that product and set it as the query set for us to choose from. So let's just check the server's working, and it is. We can refresh here, and there you see we have red and green as the only available colors, even though we have blue as an extra color there. And so before we can actually add this item to cart, we just need to fix the logic here in our form valid, because now we have an extra field. So what we want to do is pass in our filter, not only that the product is the same, but the color is the same as well. And so we'll say form.cleanedData.get the color. And so if that filter already exists, then that means we're adding an item with the exact color. So then all it needs to do is just increment the quantity. Otherwise, if the color is not the same, then it'll create an entirely new order item. And because we're calling form.save, it's going to save the color onto it by default. So let's go and test this out. We will add here red, say add to cart. Let's go back to the cart here and say go to order items, and there you can see we have red. And so like this, we have now added some variation in that we have a color of our product. We can do the same sort of thing with a size. So we'll just add another model here called size variation, which will also have a name. And then on the order item, we'll add another field here called size. Which is going to be a foreign key to the size variation. And on our product model, we're going to set the available sizes as a many-to-many field with the size variation. Now this is going to cause some errors with migrations again. So what I'm going to do is delete the migrations and delete the database again. And we can go ahead and run those commands again to make migrations for cart, migrate, create the super user, and to run the server again. And then like that, we'll just log back into the admin, create another product, and let's make sure we also add this in the admin. So over here, we'll import this model there and register the size variation. Come back here, go back to size variation, and let's add small, and I'll just spell that correctly there, medium, and large. And then we can go to the products, add a product. I'll say that the only sizes are medium and large, and I'll go and add red, blue, and green as colors here. So blue and green, and let's say that we don't have green, so only red and blue. And we can hit save, go back here to the shop, and now we're going to need to add the size as one of the fields in our form. So let's go to the form here. We're going to change this field to be called size, and it's going to use the size variation. So we'll say size variation.objects.none, and then we can set self.fields of size.querySet equal to product.available_sizes.all. So if we refresh here, now we have the size showing. We only have medium and large, which are the ones we selected here. And so let's do in our form valid, make sure that we're also filtering now by size as well. So size equals form.cleanData of size. And then in our forms, also make sure that size is here as one of the fields to include. Refresh here, and let's add red, medium. And now let's go back to the cart, go to our order items, and we have red, medium. So that's how we can add some variation to our items, and I'll see you in the next one.